Okay, bringing it back to a real life example. One partner gets really frustrated and angry at the fact that after 2 or 3 years of constant reminding, the other partner never takes out the trash, does the dishes, feeds the dog on time, what have you, makes the bed, even though they made an agreement. Right. Say, for example, they started living together or they got married and here's our agreement. But the fact is, if the other partner isn't holding up their end of the bargain, the other one is right, really. So how do you deflate that where, one person's needs are not being met when in fact, it seems pretty crystal clear that the other partner is not doing their part.
Yeah.
And so how do you actually make them both right? When logically, if you looked at it from a very objective point of view, one could say, yeah, they're not doing their part.
Right. So,
and as I'm saying this, I realize that none of this is at a heart level. I'm using this is a very logical thing, but that's what couples do, right? They look at it kind of as a black and white thing. So how do you bring that very logical argument where if I were an attorney, I would probably win the case in a court of law into what they both really need, how they can really be seen. The person who is abdicating on his or her responsibility, what is that all about? What does that person really need? Is that a cry for attention? So how do you bring that on a heart level? Sorry.
Yeah. That's a great question. You said a word in there which was key. You said something about a bargain. This is the deal we made. This is the contract we signed. So there's a lot of things that after many years of helping people that I finally have realized, especially with couples, there's so many things that I'm kind of off the hook for now that I don't have to do, that my life is a little bit easier. Because how many scenarios are there like that? How many problems are there to solve? How many situations are there to figure out? And how many communication courses and styles of communication can we learn? So I don't teach communication skills. I don't teach bargaining. I don't teach how to work out a problem. Those are kind of intellectual exercises, but they leave people still using they leave people still using the same amount of brain power to hold in their emotional difficulties with each other. So relationships are not bargains. Relationships are bonds. They're strong bonds between people, not unlike parent to child. Mm-hmm. So how do we solve when we're taking out the trash, or we agreed, who's gonna pay the bills? So what's happening with couples almost every single time is there's another emotional conversation going on underneath the problem-solving conversation, and it's universal. And it has to do with this bond that they have with each other. So when we're fighting, you said you would take the children to school, but I have to get up early. But you said you would do that, and you promised, and you would do it for a month, and you would try it out. What they're really saying to each other is, I don't feel safe to tell you what's going on in my mind. Well, I don't feel safe telling you what's on my mind. Well, I don't feel safe to even look at you and know that you care anymore. Well, fine. Be that way. Okay, so there's another conversation that's happening all the time.